Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today's the day I'm going to start putting that barn siding on the addition. I just took Izzy for a walk, and while I was walking I was figuring out, how I'm going to get this area done, and I think this is going to be a huge problem. Now that I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go measure and see how big those bumps are on the siding, but I don't think I can get one past another, because you kind of put one bump over the other bump when you're connecting the two panels. I don't think I can do that in the slots here. Like with this siding here, when it's in a J channel like that and you have to get another one in, you have to slide it, past the other one, and then it'll click up under there. I don't think there's enough room on this. I'm gonna go measure that stuff right now. So I'm wondering how the heck I can get it done. That stuff is very flexible in the width wise, so I'm wondering if I can just slide that stuff up from the bottom, get the two connected, and then get it passed into the J channel down there. And what is there, 1, 2, yeah, there's 3 of them, and then I have that as well. Oh no, this could really suck. All right, let's go. I got my handy dandy measuring tool. Let's go see how tall them bumps are. I know I could do it with the regular siding, but if this is taller than the regular siding, it's going to be a big issue. It's not actually that tall. This is not standard stuff. Okay, it is 5/16. That's probably going to work, because these can flatten out a little bit as well, just to get them into place. All right, you never know until you try. I'm going to cut this open. I'm going to hook up the hose and wash this gravel off, and I think I'll start cutting up a piece. Okay, here is the J channel. The J channel is 3/4 of an inch deep. So 2 times 5/16 is 5/8, so that gives me another 8. So theoretically, that stuff should just pass right over each other and be just fine. So it looks like it's gonna work. Let's give it a try. stuff looks nice. I thought the cover sheets were these two brown ones, and that was the normal sheet over there, and it had scratches all over it. I was really worried because there's a long lead time on remaking this if it needed remaking. But that was a cover sheet as well. At least it better be. He said it had cover sheets on it, so I'm guessing the rest of my sheets are like buried underneath here. It looked like he has two of the really long ones on the top and possibly two on the bottom. That's what I'm hoping for. I got to take this stack apart and get the correct one for the bottom there. Well, actually, this might be it right here. I'm not sure. It has the sizes listed on that tag right there, so I'm going to go by that. I can't remember what I gave him. But first, I'm going to get this wiped down, and then I'm going to start peeling this apart. Okay, before I get too far, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I have my piece. Oh, I don't have this hole figured out yet. I'll get that done before I start cutting. But this is the big notch in this bottom piece right here. And how I got that, the siding is going to sit 3 inches away from the edge. So this dimension right here, we're at 16 3/4. So you have a 1/4 inch gap, which is all I'm allowing. So it's 16.5 on this one. This is the top of the first sheet. And what I did was got some sheets, put them together, and found out how much overlap there is. The sheets are 38 1/4 inch long, but with the overlap, they're 36 1/4. So the first one is 38 1/4, and then 36 1/4 up from that is the next one, and 36 1/4 again. The last dimension is about 12. I just called it 12. So it looks like the scuppers are going to be right in the middle of a long 12-inch piece. I might just seam them right in the middle of the scuppers. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Hi, kitty. She always waits till the camera's on to come. I think she likes YouTube. Honey, let me finish this. All right, what I have here is a screw, so I could pull a dimension. Oh, where is that? What I do is take this and put it up underneath the siding there, nice and tight, and then I drew a line. So between this line and this line, plus a 1/4 inch for the gap, that's what the bottom cut is. I should actually probably go a little more than 1/4 because I don't know how accurate this is going to be all the way across. I think what I'll do is measure up from the bottom to the underside of here in a couple places and give it a check. But anyways, these screws are just a hair past 3 inches, so when I hook it on there, it gives me 0. That way I can measure all the way to the other side. Take this, turn it upside down. Go ahead, Cat. Turn this upside down and put it in here. Then I can measure all the way over to the edge of this. Hopefully I'm showing that correctly. I can measure all the way over to the edge of this and then add a 1/4 inch for the gap on here, and then all the way to here, and then subtract a 1/4 inch, and that'll give me the overall length. I hope this is making sense, and I hope I'm correct, but I do believe I am. So what I'm planning on doing is cutting this notch. See, this goes across, gets notched out, goes all the way over and goes up in that gap. What I plan on doing is getting that notch cut and then get this opening cut. I'm just going to go a 1/4 inch around that. That's going to have to be an awful good measurement on that, or it's not going to be correct. I can go a little more than a 1/4 inch, but I don't know. And then after that, I put a screw in right here. This is that 3 inches. This is where it would start. And I measured to the center of all the slats. That's where the screws have to go. I still have to figure out the distance between the screws, you know, where they're going to go. One needs to be at the bottom, and we got to get one in here, but I can't put them up here. That'll cause a bulge. I want it to, it'll cause a full bulge. There's stuff under here that is going to bulge, so I want it to do it, you know, I want to put a screw here, and if it bulges, just have it kind of curl up under there and not have a full bulge, if you know what I mean. And then I still need to figure out where the screws are going to go on this edge and along here. See, they're going to go straight up here, and I don't know if I want them to go continue up because there's a lot of junk under there. Yeah, and there's one of them big screws. I should probably countersink those right away. Yeah, I'm going to have to countersink this. It's just going to bulge out. A lot more work than I thought. Alright, I'm going to measure for this box hole and get these screws countersunk. Alright, I have a sheet in place. Now I just got to do all the measurements on this and all the cutting. I'm going to be cutting this with a circular saw for the most part. I don't know if there's any hand trimming that I'll do. Possibly on that opening for the electrical there, but that remains to be seen. I can generally just plunge the saw in and make a cut like that. Okay, yeah, I really gotta hope I don't make any mistakes. I don't have any extra except for that cover sheet, and that's only gonna work on a small patch or something. So I really need to get this right. So what I'm going to do is measure everything from that end. I'll get my cutoff here. I'll get my notch at the top figured out. And I'll get that electrical outlet figured out. And then make all of the cuts. And I'm going to drill a hole here, which will be screwed in here, and then a couple on the other end. That will, when I'll have somebody help, and we'll both have a screw on hand, and we'll try to get it up and in here and get a screw on either end. I'm going to have to drill a few holes in the field there as well, just to get it like tacked into place. And then once it's all fitting well, which it may not, but I'm hoping it does. Once it's all fitting well and nice and level and stuff, then I'll put the rest of the screws in. And then I believe I'm going to level this one over here right off of this one. I'll have the top of it right there. I can measure up to the top of the door and then come down to the other side. That's how I did the stuff up there. And hopefully that'll be correct. If I don't put all of the screws in this stuff, when I get to that top part, I should be able to take a few screws out and adjust this stuff a little bit. At least that's what I'm hoping. Don't know for sure. Okay, I'm going to get all this stuff laid out and then we'll start cutting. Okay, I have everything laid out. This is how long it is right here. This is the notch down for under the window here. It actually comes right to the top right here, but I'm just going to shoot for right down the middle. It'll give me a hair more room. You can't go too far with that. I gave myself a 1/4 inch, and that would give me another, I don't know, maybe an 1/8. And you really can't do that on the sides, but on the bottom it should be all right. And here's my other end. And the factory edge is going to go right here. This is where the end of it goes at 3 inches. A 3-inch mark right there. This is the top. And here's my hole. So I'm going to go around right now and double check all of these dimensions, and then I'm going to start cutting. Okay, we got a problem here. The blade is starting to get dull, and when I first started cutting on this side, there was one of these rubber mats, this one right here. You can see I cut into it. That really dulled it up the rest of the way. It was kind of buried under the grass there, and I didn't even see it was there. And then the saw started stalling out, and I figured out that this was the problem. It was getting dull to start with. I did the entire run in over there. I did that entire building with that blade and the whole back of the house, and it was starting to spark a little bit when I was getting towards the end on this, and I should have got a new blade. I just forgot all about it. So the problem is, if you get the metal too hot, it'll ruin the galvanizing and it'll rust. So I definitely don't want to do that. I'm gonna have to run to town. I gotta make sure they have it first. I use these Diablo, I believe this is 7.5 or 6.5 inch. I'll just take that with me. 48 tooth and just angle iron metal. It's a steel demon. Oh, that kind of sucks. I'm wondering if I should do this final cut here. That's a plunge cut, and I really should have a sharp blade for that. That's going to be actually kind of difficult. I got to plunge from both sides, and then it looks like I'm going to have to hand cut that bottom. The top, I think I can plunge cut that. Oh, jeez. See what time it is. It is already after 1. So I should really head to town really quick. Get that blade. Won't be able to get any more done today, but at least I'll have the blade for tomorrow. Alright, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so here's the deal. The blade we're looking for, we finally found it in town. There's only one place in town. Everybody else, it's special order. Home Depot, Menards, everybody else has to special order it. So we have to pay the higher price for it, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is drill a hole and cut my hole for the electrical with a jigsaw. It'll be a much cleaner hole. Well, maybe not than a brand new blade, but it'll be fairly easy to do. It's getting dark. It's already past 3 o'clock, and we have hunters coming. So what we got to do, I think we have 4 hunters coming. So I think we're going to have to move all of this stuff out there because it's going to be a bit colder. And then I think we could just put plastic right along that edge right there and put a heater in here, warm it up nice. I think that'll be just fine. But I got to get that done. So I need to find a drill bit now. I got to drill a hole, a starter hole for this. Then I'm going to drill a couple screw holes at the very top in that overlap part. And then when them guys get here, I'm going to have them help me. I'm going to hang it up from one end and then lift it, put a level on it, lift it till it's level, put a screw at the other end, and then I'll just put a couple of the screws on the field to hold it there, and then I'll deal with that panel tomorrow. So hopefully this all goes well. I have about an hour till it's dark, so I better get moving. All right, I screwed up on this twice. The way I had that jigsaw angled, the blade's about 2 inches long, but the stroke is probably about 1 inch. So at the angle, it couldn't stay in the cut, and it popped out and I made 2 different little dings in it. They're not deep though, so I'm gonna get some touch-up paint and I'll just touch those up. So what I gotta do now, this whole tab right here is buried in the next layer. So what I'm gonna do is throw, I don't know, maybe 3 holes in this, but one way over at the corner, and that will go right at this corner. That's the 3 inches. This is the 38.5. I'll have somebody hold it with a screwdriver and just screw a screw in at that corner, and then we'll lift this one up. I'll put a torpedo level on somewhere right over here, and then we'll lift this up and then get a screw in here. Then I have the distance to drill all these other holes. I'll just put a couple screws in for now, and then I'll leave it for tomorrow. And that's all assuming that this hole's in the right place. It better be, but you know, who knows. All right, I'm gonna get these holes drilled, and then I gotta start putting stuff away. And as soon as them guys get here, we'll get this piece on. Some kind of a hissy fit going on with the horses. All of them were just bucking and making snorts and this, that, and the other thing. But as soon as they see the camera, they stop. Here we go. What's with you guys? Why y'all riled up? Don't snort at me. Okay, I couldn't wait. Natalie and I got this up into place. Now it's just a hair, yeah, it's a hair off a bubble, but I think I can adjust that a little bit. Looks like it can come up just a hair on this side. It was hooking on the underside of the window and we were having a hard time getting it into place, but now I drilled several holes. Well, that's not going to do any good. I drilled several holes. I can drill another one here. This part is actually going to get covered up in the end. Once I get the field screws on, these screws are going to come out, and then the next piece is going to go right over this and then get screwed through right there. But that's going to look pretty nice. It's a little browner than the sample, but I guess that's okay. Yes, they didn't have a really nice choice of colors, but I think this is going to work. And then if you've seen the other videos, this white, we have these white strips. That's going to go in this opening here and lap over the top of this. And that's just going to get fastened at the top. And I believe that's all I really need to do. I have to get over this thing right here. So that's probably the only way I can do it. If I put screws in here, it's just going to kind of buckle. All right, good, good, good. And it's all nice and flush. See, now this gets screws like here, 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 and here. And then around the window, this is where I had that little bulgy stuff. So I don't want to screw it right next to that stuff. So I'll probably put a line of screws out here. But the screws for the field are right about here. So I don't know how that'll look. That'll come up here and then it'll jog over and go up. I don't know. But it's in place and I can do any adjustments I need to this tomorrow. I think I will put a field screw or two in here. I don't know how well. Yeah, if the wind, either that or just lean something up against it so the wind can't get behind it and flop it around. I don't think tomorrow's going to be a really windy day, but yeah, that would suck if this tore off. All right, a bit of drama today, but in the end, I got one piece on. And remember, there is not a whole lot of pieces. Each one's difficult, but there's not a whole bunch of them. The next piece goes between here and here. The two on the side should be real easy to, they're just straight pieces. But I might have to bend them from the top to get them down in there. Yeah, we'll see on that. Then the one after that has that thing to cut out for, and it goes over the windows and over the door. And I think those are at slightly different heights. So that one's going to be the most difficult of all because it's a full 24 feet as well. Oh boy. So if you want to see all that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.